It's the stress of the pod.
Yeah, the pod has kept me up at night.
It's keeping me up. The success of it.
I know, just too many emails to reply to of offers from big companies. Too many brand deals to answer.
Exactly. I've got too many PlayStation 5s just
on their
popping
way
up that Sony are given to me just because of on the back of the success of the pod. They just want me.
Yeah, no, I've been getting them too. Don't you worry. They're flooding in along with all of the fan mail. So I've been replying to that on the Instagram.
Really? There's been fan mail on the Instagram?
Oh yeah, we've got 17 followers now.
That's followers, not fan mail.
But
they're all messaging me.
Yeah, absolutely, all 17 of them.
They just won't leave me alone.
Including your lovely mummy.
Shout out to my mum and dad for following the Instagram.
Thank you very much. It makes us look really good.
Should we take a look at them then?
Right. Things like this are usually done through museums.
Yes, but with the war coming, they couldn't embark upon any new ventures.
Well, I've been on digs since I was old enough to hold a trowel. My father taught me.
So, welcome back to Moviescope.
Moviescope!
Oh, is that going to be a new thing?
New jingle I made.
I like it. I do really like it, actually. That's definitely staying.
Yeah. I was thinking of that, or like a live from Scope Towers.
Scope Towers.
It's Moviescope
with your host
with Scott.
Hello.
And Alice.
Hiya. Oh god. Yeah,
one or the other.
Yeah, it's
with all that fan mail you've got.
Oh,
they can let you know what one they prefer.
Yeah, brilliant. We can also get that sort of cut and pasted into each episode.
Exactly, they'll love
depending on which one they prefer.
Or maybe we can just swap and change when we feel like it. No one's ever going to know.
Keep them on their toes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that.
As the editor of the pod, I don't actually really care what people say because I'll put whatever I want at the front of it.
I do what I want, actually. Thank you. You don't own me. I own you.
I own your ears, not the other way around.
I'm in control here, and it feels good.
Anyway, should we get in?
Shall we dig into this?
I mean, because we're reviewing The Dig. That is, I love it. Genius.
Thank you.
So The Dig. The Dig is a film on Netflix released this year, directed by Simon Stone. A brief synopsis of the film: as World War II looms, a wealthy widow hires an amateur archaeologist to excavate the burial mounds on her estate. I know what you're thinking. It sounds thrilling. And
you'd be correct.
You'd be correct. There's nothing speaks to me more than the mounds.
I bloody love a mound.
And archaeology. But
yeah.
Personally, I enjoyed it. I think it's good to broaden your Moviescope horizons sometimes.
Absolutely,
so I think it's good to watch different things. It wasn't something that I thought I would usually find myself watching, but I thought for the sake of the pod, you never know, amateur archaeologists could be listening and they could have found The Dig really interesting, so who are we to ignore their film?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I actually did really like it. It's not normally, as you say, something that I would tend to go for, but yeah, no, the main thing that I really liked about it was just how beautiful it all was. It was shot really well. There was lots of shots of the English countryside, which is always really nice.
Shout out to the great British countryside.
I mean, finally getting the recognition that it deserves.
I think it was a very beautifully shot film, though. I enjoyed all of the aspects of kind of the scenery in Ipswich.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, it was really, really gorgeous. They definitely captured Ipswich's essence.
Ipswich's inner beauty.
Yeah.
Can't say I've ever been there, but
No,
I'm
I
sure it
haven't.
has got inner beauty somewhere.
Some hidden gems.
It's definitely got a hidden boat. Whee!
Yeah, no, I did, as you said, it was absolutely beautifully shot. There was some really, it just looked stunning. Like the lighting was great, the shots were great, just all round quite a pleasant sight on the eyes.
Quite a sensual experience, I found.
Ooh.
Especially with the soundtrack as well. I thought that the music in the background was also very nice.
Oh, very nice,
The
actually.
sound,
Yeah.
I think it invoked some emotion in me.
Mhm.
I don't know who did the score. Possibly should have researched that, but
Potentially.
but hey ho,
Yeah.
I can always research it now real quick because I feel as though I
real
should give
quick.
him or her a shout out.
Yeah, definitely deserves the credit there.
Stefan Gregory.
Good job, Stefan.
Shout out to Stefan for doing such a solid job because personally I found the music quite emotional.
Oh,
There were just certain scenes where the music just kind of like swelled up.
Yeah, it does
and
grab you a little bit. doesn't
Exactly,
it?
and I was just, especially when Basil was getting done in by the burial, by the burial, when he was digging at the beginning and it caved in on
I
him.
do, yeah.
The music then was particularly good, I found.
Yeah,
really.
and the end scene as well when he's in when they're all in the ship.
Yeah,
the,
no.
The three.
Almost brought a tear to my eye,
Do you know?
but it didn't.
It did make me cry, but there we go.
But there we go.
As
That's
we said before, I'm not a stranger to crying at films, and that's got nothing. We can't judge that on anything, because I cry at literally everything. So so yeah, that's nothing to judge it on. But yeah, no, it was incredibly beautiful. The soundtrack.
good job, Stefan.
Absolutely. Round of applause to Stefan. Yeah, speaking of the main characters, if you like, beautifully acted by all of them.
Yeah, no, I mean Rafe and
Mrs. Mulligan.
Mrs. Mulligan did a Carey did a
not 100% on that one.
did a fantastic job. Obviously, they're both great actors in their own right. Both been nominated for Oscars previously as well. So clearly they managed to get quite a, because the bloke that directed it, Simon Stone, he's not done very many other films. So then to start doing this and then be told that you're going to be directing kind of two Academy Award
Yeah.
nominees surely is a bit intimidating. But
Yeah, it's pretty intense, isn't
yeah,
it?
but he obviously did a great job. I mean, their performances were fantastic. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, stick Rafe in anything and you're going to get a good film, to be
yeah,
honest. He's
no, can't
absolutely
doubt that.
incredible actor. Just very, very versatile, diverse. He played Voldemort, and you can't get a more sort of contrasting character than Basil, to be honest, can you? But yeah, no, very, very good job.
Was it weird seeing Rafe with a nose?
It was actually, yeah, because he's got very distinctive eyes, as old Rafe.
Very snake-like eyes.
So yeah, like even when he's playing Voldemort, you recognise him as Ralph Fiennes because of his eyes. But yeah, it is odd seeing him in a role that isn't Voldemort.
Yeah. I mean, all in all, there was good performances all round.
Absolutely, definitely.
Even with the supporting characters as well, I thought they were quite good. There was Mr. Basil Brown's wife, Mrs. Brown.
In other words,
Mrs. Brown, portrayed by Monica Dolan. I thought she was very good as well. Personally, I wasn't kind of familiar with any work that she'd been in, but she's a BAFTA award-winning actress, so
goodness.
clearly she's Well, clearly she's bigger than me and bigger than the pod. Just about, as weird as it seems.
I loved her character. I thought she was really sweet. I thought she really just could see how much digging meant to Mr. Brown. And she was just fully supportive of him. Just take as long as you need. You know, this is your dream. You've found your goodies. And she was just a lovely, lovely character.
She was very lovely. One of the bits I liked was when obviously he'd been away from home for a while, and she came to visit him and said that she'd been reading his books because she missed him so much, like the books that he himself had written, and his character was like, "Why on earth are you reading those? They're so bloody boring." And then she was just like, "Yeah, they are." But that's how much I miss you, and how much I bloody love you, Basil. Stop digging
and come home.
Come home, but keep on digging because this is your dream, and I love you.
Yeah, she was great. And also the scene in which they went to the party that Mrs. Pretty was holding.
Oh yeah, where they didn't have a clue how to
etiquette. They had no idea on toasting etiquette, when to drink.
It's sherry, I suppose it's sherry, is it? I don't know. Do we should drink it now, or do you think there's going to be a toast?
Everyone else doing.
I mean, we're laughing, but would you have a clue?
No. As soon as that
Peasants, no etiquette.
No, honestly, as soon as that scene came on, I was like, that is me and you if we ever attend a posh party.
Once the pod gets big and we're going to all these sorry, once it gets big.
Yeah,
it's already huge.
Oh, thanks to your mum.
Once it gets big and we start getting invited to film premieres and, you know, all that shenanigans, when we ourselves are at the Academy Awards, we won't have a clue what to do.
No, that is very true.
And then we'll be thinking, God, where's our etiquette?
I mean, I don't think you're far off there, to be honest, because when we're invited to these parties.
Sorry, is that what the fan mail is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Oscar's been on the phone. You're invited.
Yeah, Mr. Grammy.
We're on the list.
Oh,
Grammy?
Is that a music
That's
thing?
music.
I don't know. Oh, that's shows how much I know.
When we win Pod of the Year.
Yeah. Another great character was Robert, Mrs. Pretty's son. I feel like he was the least annoying child of any film I've ever watched.
Yeah, he just came across as quite a sweet lad. I feel the same. Child actors can sometimes be very annoying and over the top. Usually, I find they kind of overact, but it felt as though he just got the balance just right, and I really enjoyed his performance. I thought it was quite good, and he didn't annoy me one bit.
Yeah, I thought the character was cute. I feel like he did a really good job, and as you said, I do think that he did the right level of performing. It wasn't exaggerated. It was just exactly how you'd expect a kid of that age to behave.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought it was really, really beautiful. And I did really enjoy the little ending part when he was sailing on the ship. Bit of a spoiler there, but
I because they kept, obviously, Mr. Brown. He had his telescope, and they were quite obsessed with space and space travel
and scopes.
Hashtag Moviescope.
I love how in the last episode you were like, if there's any movies to do with telescopes, and then this time there is.
Someone would think that I watched the trailer and saw the telescope and thought, maybe I have to watch this. But no, it will take a smarter man than me. But I feel as though there's a definite parallel between the amount of space that they were showing compared to the amount of digging that they were showing as well, because you had them digging into the ground, but then at the same time you had lots of shots of space as well. So there was a contrast between between the past, which was all buried underground, and obviously the future, which was all in space and space travel. So there's a definite there's a hidden meaning
There's a bit of a
there.
parallel there, isn't
Exactly, and as I said, there's a meaning behind it. What it is, I don't know, but my brain picked up on it, and hence why I'm on a podcast and and not making movies.
Absolutely. That's do you know what? Smarter man than you would have known the answer to that, but a smarter man than me, e.g. you, would have at least picked that up.
on the flip side, it means absolutely nothing. And the director was like, "Yeah, I like stars."
Literally has no meaning whatsoever.
He just likes telescopes. Who can blame him? Get him on the pod.
Come on, Mr. Stone.
Mr. Stone, if you're out there, we want to hear from you.
Get in touch.
Tell us about your scoping fetish.
No. We cannot confirm or deny
That Mr. Stone has a scoping fetish.
for legal reasons.
Other scopes are available. So are other fetishes. So I feel as though we've been very positive about this film. I mean, it was a lovely film. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There's one aspect that I didn't like, which was they kept on recording people's conversations and people's voices, but over shots where they weren't currently talking. And
I did notice that, actually.
And the first time I thought, edgy, that's cool. It's good to try different things. But then because it's on a streaming platform, I kept thinking that my film and my audio were out of sync, and I actually kept on checking Netflix to make sure that the film had buffered.
Right.
Because I kept thinking that my audio and my film is out of sync, and every time it came up, I did it because it just kept on. Like, my internet isn't bad, but I just kept on thinking, oh, this isn't right, and I didn't realise that it was actually part of the film. I didn't enjoy it. It took me out of it completely, because obviously I was checking what was going on, and I just didn't. I didn't think it was necessary either.
I just thought it was definitely overused, because they didn't just do it a couple of times. It was quite a lot that they used that, and I felt like the first couple of times, as you said, I thought that's pretty cool. Don't see that a lot. But after a while, I was a bit like, oh, this is just sort of throwing me off a little bit.
Yeah, it just got tedious.
It did. It really did. Yeah. Especially in the garden party scene. I don't know why, but they did it quite a lot in that sort of the space of like 5 minutes.
Yeah, because she started talking, didn't she? But then they were showing like shots of her standing there. That's the bit that I really didn't like, because when they had shots of the person that was actually talking, but their mouth wasn't moving, but they were talking.
It did throw me off.
It wasn't. I don't know.
I feel like the first couple of times, clever.
Yeah.
But like, if you keep using it,
if it's a shot, say they're talking about digging, say there's a conversation about digging, and they're panning over, say, the ship that they dug up or something like that. That's fair enough. That makes sense to me. But don't record a speech at a dinner party. Show me the lady that's doing the speech, but her mouth not moving.
Yeah, no, okay,
because it didn't.
Exactly.
But I think that was my only real gripe with the film. But then it's just the fact that it happened so many times that it got tedious. It was
no, I can definitely agree with that. And I feel like if that's the only real negative of a film, I can probably get over that.
Well, that and the romance.
Oh, I liked the romance. I did really enjoy that side of it, I must say. I thought there was a nice little twist at the end when you realise that he was in fact gay. At
the end?
Yeah, I I had my suspicions, but it was sort of confirmed at the
I think
end
I knew he was gay from
the off.
yeah. Clearly my gaydar's much better than yours.
Yeah, apparently it was.
I just
I
think
just thought he was too obsessed with the job. That's what I got.
no, it was you could tell because when they went to the hotel and he was like, "Oh, sorry, they only had separate beds." Rubbish, mate. Rubbish. I didn't believe that for a second. And there was the bit when he like saw her in the bath as well, and then he was like, "Oh my god,
Yeah,
a naked woman!"
I didn't. But to me, I didn't immediately think, "Oh, he must be gay."
But he was always looking at his mate as well.
That's the bit that started to make me.
Well, when they were like tickling each other.
Yeah, and the bit where like he's calling to him like, "Oh, are you coming to the party?" kind of thing, the after party, and then he like looks back. And the guy is like waving at him suggestively. And
Suggestively? What's a suggestive wave?
You know, I mean, you know a suggestive wave when you see one. But yeah, no, he was just. There was a lot more. Obviously, they planned that, but there was a lot more chemistry between those two characters than there was between Lily James's character, Peggy, was it? Yeah, Peggy, and him. So. I didn't pick it up straight away though, I must say. It did take me till the end of the film when it was confirmed to realise that. But yeah, no, I did like that sort of side story.
I didn't like it, but I enjoyed their performances. We've not even spoken about him, but Rory in the film, the bloke that obviously was going to the RAF. Double R Rory, RAF Rory. I enjoyed him as a character. I thought he was really nice. He was really sweet with the kid in the film. He was really sweet with obviously his sister. He was just a really nice solid character. He was just a really nice guy, and I thought, wow, I wish he deserved to be happy. He's a hero. He's going out there to war. He deserves a bit of Lily James.
He does. And she deserves him.
And she deserves a bit of Rory.
Yeah. After all that time, not having Rory, she deserves some Rory.
They had a rawsome time together.
Goodness. How rawsome. But yeah, like I really liked their chemistry in it. It was very it's quite raunchy at the end.
Yeah.
But
unnecessarily so, I thought.
I don't know. I normally don't like a sex scene unless it's sort of adds to the film. If it's just sort of there for the sex appeal, I'm a bit like.
That's how I thought that was.
Oh, do you think?
Yeah.
I thought it was like way more romantic than that.
I get it ties into their story, but obviously I wasn't invested in their story, so it just felt as though it was just there.
Okay.
And I just wasn't. And I was just like, whenever they were together, I was like, get me back to Basil.
Get Basil back.
Get me back to Basil in Mrs. Pretty's garden, digging away.
In Mrs. Pretty's mounds.
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 I want more of Basil in Pretty's mounds, please. That's the only sex scene I want.
It's just Basil with his little trowel.
Troweling around in Mrs. Pretty's garden.
Yeah. No. That's I mean, I did enjoy the digging side of things a lot more than the side romantic part of the film.
I just enjoyed the whole thing a lot more than I thought I was. I looked at the trailer and I thought, God, this is going to be bleak.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
No.
It was actually altogether a pretty good film, and I think this probably takes us on to our ratings. Do you think?
Yeah.
Perfect. So what would you give it?
How many golden trowels out of 10 would I give it? I feel I want to say 7, but I think I feel as though I give every film I watch that isn't awful a 7. I feel like
Right.
every film I watch is either a 2 or a 7.
I hated that all.
Yeah.
It was alright.
Unless it's
Toy Story.
Unless it's Toy Story, which is 10 out of 10, or Detective Pikachu, which is 10 out of 10.
I've yet to watch that.
Maybe we'll have to review that one next. But 7. I mean, we laughed last week, but it is like what you said. Movies are different. Like, I gave Soul 7.6 or whatever it was out of 10, and that was compared to like other animated films. You can't compare
Soul and the Dig.
You can't compare Soul and The Dig.
Yeah.
Did everyone notice I called it Soul and not Pure? You can't. They're not. I would say Soul was better than The Dig, but compared to other archaeological films that I've seen, none. The Dig. I mean, archaeological films, 10 out of 10.
Being the only one I've seen so far.
But-
I mean, I did enjoy Soul more than The Dig, I'd say. But then again, I can see that The Dig, for some people, is definitely going to be a better film than
Yeah,
Soul.
100%.
So, I personally would give it maybe like a 7.5, 7.6.
That's a respectable score. I like that.
Yeah, because I do think it was better than just a plain 7, because I feel like 7's actually not all that high.
Oh. I feel as though 6 is rude.
Right. 6 is rude. Yeah, I do think it's definitely up there with high 7s, I'd say.
Oh, I like it. I like a high 7.
7 shovels out of 10 shovels.
7 trowels out of 10 trowels, please. is the verdict.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be the average of that? 7. Because we both gave it a 7.
Oh no, I gave it a high 7, so 7.6.
Oh, okay.
So what?
7.3.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. 7.3 it is.
Yeah, lovely.
I feel as though that about wraps that one up.
I'd say so, yeah. And if you fancy going over to our socials, it's at Scope Movie on Twitter and at Moviescope the Pod on Instagram.